All right. It is Saturday afternoon on the internet, and we have just witnessed a Saudi Arabian night over in um over in Jeddah, South. I was going to say South Korea. What am I talking about? Over in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and we are here to talk about it, folks. I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and I'm joined by my good friend, your good friend, the king of the tiny tank top himself in his living room, where we might be hearing some background noise, but that's perfectly fine. This is life. We're going for real life here on the show today. Our good friend Kevin Apollo.
What's going on, everybody?
You know what? I gotta say, I really like these middle of the day like WWE shows on a weekend. Like I don't know, I still got the whole day ahead of me, and I just watched wrestling for 3 hours.
I say it is nice and convenient. You get it done at 1 o'clock and then go on with the rest of your day.
Yeah. Like I'm all for them just like doing the PLEs in other countries just constantly. I mean, look, the one they did in Australia where I had to get up at like 5 a.m, that wasn't great. But the this one was good. I mean, look, this one was good from a timing standpoint. It is raises some ethical concerns, maybe. I had to do a lot of research for this week's Headlock Headlines, which came out this morning. And it was mostly just me with my like mouth hanging open, like they crucify people? Like literally.
We do things differently.
We do.
In a lot of places, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yes, I made the joke about like the fact that like because they behead and then they crucify. Yes. So I was like, yeah. So we made the joke on the headlines with the
I saw.
You watched it. Usually you don't watch right away. So. Like, about Jesus no selling the crucifixion. So, some skinny worker in his 30s just kicked right out of it. Now no one can finish with it.
The crucifixion into the Canadian destroyer. You're shitting all over the business.
Oh man!
Now everybody's getting crucified.
Hope you guys enjoyed that and the song parody Saudi Arabian Nights that we put out today. So this was gosh, the show, I keep almost saying pay-per-view, but it's a premium live event. The premium live event was, I mean, it was pretty middle of the road. I wasn't wowed away by anything, but I wasn't like, oh my God, this sucks. There was only one thing on the whole show where I was like, that didn't look good, and that was the King of the Ring finish, but we will get to that.
I had my back to it. But whenever you have to do one of these, the finishes as a result of an injury, it never looks good anyway. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, we're gonna get one of those weird wonky finishes where his knee buckles or some shit. I got it, whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's just get the Gunther versus Priest, because that should be. I know people are kind of or trying to hop past Damian, but this is kind of one of those. This should be a breakout match for him. Mm-hmm. I would say Gunther's not going to win, but it's one of those matches where it'll probably come down to the wire. So when Gunther gets a chance to re-challenge, you can, there's still an element of danger that he's going to beat whoever it is he's going to be in the ring with.
I feel like it might be a WrestleMania situation for Gunther. Like, I think he might be he might have to take the Rumble this year and go on to face Cody. Even I think that might be a thing. You never know. Well, I mean, Cody and Rock seems to kind of have Cody's dance card punched, actually. So I don't know. Gunther winning the world title on Raw though, and winning that belt eventually, I think helps that belt because that belt needs more. It needs a lot more. I cannot imagine. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but I can't imagine that they are going to have Drew challenge for the world title in Scotland 2 years in a row and have him lose both times. I just cannot imagine that's going to happen.
How far out is that show?
It's next month. It's in June.
Month?
It's a couple weeks away, actually.
I don't know. I think it's a little early in Damian's run to be pulling a belt off him, especially under the Triple H era. Vince would do it in a heartbeat.
Of course, yeah, but
Triple H seems to like to give you some breathing room. Although, listen, with that belt though, I wouldn't mind if we went back to the Attitude Era style of storytelling with the title, where it bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
Sure, you want to with guys having with like 8 title reigns in 5 minutes, but when we had that little period where it bounced from Austin the Rock to Austin the Rock to Foley to Rock to Austin the Rock to Triple H to Rock, there was once your main eventers are established, I think it makes the chasing of the belt a little more fun, especially when you have that many main eventers. I mean, we'd never seen.
Seth just held it for what, like a year? Did Seth hold it for a full year? But he held it for a while.
He had it over a year, so he had a hell of a run.
And I have not. I know the answer to this is be patient and all this other stuff. I just have not. And I like Priest. I like him a lot. I've just not been wowed by him as world champion. I've not been over the moon about we gotta get him out there.
It's some of that is just they had to get these shows done and they didn't really do anything. We've just been kind of treading water. At least before they started doing Backlash, when it was Over the Edge, the Over the Edge title fight was always a weird one anyway.
Yeah,
right? Because they needed to get the champion. They needed to get the champion a challenger just right out the box, right? You feel like Austin Foley just happened to be a happy accident.
Dude Love, and it was Dude Love Foley too. It wasn't even like Mankind to Cactus Jack.
Yeah, so it was like a happy accident that gave him the ability to kind of open up the story the way they kind of hope they would. So you just get stuck with weird matches like that. Mm-hmm. It just sucks that it took about 2 months. I hope but between the draft and the Saudi shows and shows they don't want to do too much because they can't use every tool in the box. I hope they figure out how to pace it better. Right. It's just it was dragging. I say SmackDown is always and has been the better wrestling show for over a decade, but even SmackDown was starting to drag a little bit because we were just treading water.
Yeah, I mean, but now I think it's time. Going Clash at the Castle was such a big show last year. I think now it's time to start swimming instead and stop treading water. Yeah. First, super check in. Denisha Lane for $5 says, Marvin, you show it on headlines. I laughed my head off. It was a great show tonight. I'm a new subscriber. Thank you very much and welcome, Denisha. And thank you for adding to a very small female demographic of the. That we've got here on the channel. But okay, so want to go match by match with this. And folks, if you want to comment along your thoughts on this super chat away, we'll read them all out on the air. We'll comment on the stuff you say. We promise we won't make fun of them. Oh my God. Look, that is the smile that you can only be giving to your male heir right now.
The Dukester is
there he is. There he is. Duke's gonna be sitting in on the headlines on the news with us today. Did he watch the show? Was he engaged with it?
He was awake for most of it. I was trying to
I
was trying to put him to sleep for a big chunk of it. And he just refused. He no-sold it.
Well, I'm sure I'll get to know him on the day where you inevitably die in battle, and until you return, I'm forced to train him in the wilderness for a year. So. Dragon Ball joke. So the first match of the night, we had Becky Lynch and we had Liv Morgan. And Becky Lynch, and at first I hated Becky's gear. I dislike
the Saudi fit.
Yeah, but then somebody pointed out that the two of them were doing some kind of Britney Spears homage because they were both dressed like Britney Spears in different music videos. And I was like, you know what, that was kind of cool. I didn't get it obviously, but it was still kind of cool.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like an Arthur thing. I guess Becky Lynch really likes Dudley Moore. And then,
right.
And then as I was going through the Twitters, I was like, oh, okay. I got it. No one ever wants to do an homage with the snake, but It is what it is.
Yeah. The match itself, what'd you think of this one? I thought it was fine. There was nothing bad about it. I don't understand the Liv Morgan thing. I don't understand the obsession that people seem to have with her. I'm like, like she's middle of the like when she beat Ronda, I was like, why? Like, and that was back when like beating Ronda mattered, like when Ronda was still considered like good or like valid. Um, it's always just kind of been a weird like fascination. And the I've always hated the Power Ranger jumpsuits that they're forced to wear in Saudi Arabia, and I think that I hate it because of like what it represents, like socially, I guess you could say. But the one I can't heat on it too much because I heard Bailey in an interview one time and they were like, well, what do you think about the fact that you got to wear these bodysuits? And she was like, well, I get a huge payday out of the show and I get a new action figure out of it. So, when I heard that, I was like, all right, they get a new action figure. That's more money. So,
That's it. Again, you got to look at it for what it is too. It's progress. The first time they weren't allowed. The second time they had to wear the giant oversized shirts with the Power Ranger jumpsuit. Now they're just in the Power Ranger jumpsuit.
Yeah, we're getting there little by little. Maybe next time they'll be able to show their forearms.
Whatever it takes.
Maybe the wrist. Maybe we can show the wrist next. We're actually skipping a match. Did you watch the pre-show match? The Bianca and Jade against I don't even remember who they wrestled. Like that's how forgettable this match was to me.
I completely missed it. I didn't know there was a pre-show match. Well, I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was watching Miss Rachel.
Is that like a children's show or like
it's a children's show?
That's either a children's show or you have a fascination with a cam girl that you're very proud of.
Miss Rachel has a weird hypnotic power over babies.
Oh, okay. Does it work on the boy?
Yeah, he just puts it on and he just stares.
Huh. But you've still been watching Dragon Ball with him every morning, right?
Yeah, we're up to we just finished the Great Saiyaman arc.
Oh, okay. So he's like fully engrossed in like the Super Saiyans and all that stuff at this point. So
yeah. I think he missed all of the all the stuff with Pycon. I think I just punched right through it. You
didn't have him do the Grand Kai?
I don't remember what happened. I think he was probably sick at that point. So it's just one of those, I didn't turn it off, so I just sat down and watched it.
H. So you can tell Mom don't have kids. Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet, but eventually. I think that pink was an odd choice for Jade and Bianca. It just did not. I don't think anyone looks good in like an all pink bodysuit unless you're Amy Jo Johnson and Catherine Sutherland. I don't know. The match was fine. It was, exactly what it needed to be. It was a pretty decisive win. Bianca's still selling the knee, but the Liv Morgan. What do you feel about the decision to give Liv Morgan the title here? I mean, do you think it's purely a decision of we got to hold it for when Rhea comes back, or like where do you think we go from here with her?
I honestly don't really know. I think that I guess they have to start hurrying up to tell whatever story they're going to tell with Liv and Rhea, right? Because I think Rhea's vacation is pretty much done. So it's we got to start moving it along. And then I think doesn't Becky go back to taking a break? I feel like they interrupted her break.
I feel like they're going to have to, yeah.
I feel like they interrupted her break to give Rhea off. So it's like everybody needs a little bit of a refresher anyway. Every time Becky fights Liv, it gives Liv a little bit more credibility. I don't know. I don't quite get the Liv thing. I was a little more into it when she beat Ronda because she was an underdog and was doing this weird, put me through tables thing. Your
boy is clearly one of those Liv Morgan stans, and he's getting mad and yelling at us because we're criticizing anything to do with her. That is baby speak for I hope your entire family dies in a horrible car crash. Good Lord. He's stealing. You know what? We have something right now that no other live stream has, and it's gonna. We gotta get like subtitles going on the bottom of the screen and just make him the angriest smart mark ever.
They're excelling in the toddler demo. They really have a good isolation on the 8th month to 3-year-old demographic.
Well, that's the demographic that like the key demo that really matters to the advertisers. It's really all that matters. But yeah, so I understand it. The Liv Morgan revenge tour thing, I liked it in the beginning. I like the idea of it, but I don't know. I mean, Becky was a little stale at the moment, so I think she has to go learn a new hold.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was a better move. Becky's was probably a little more stale than they anticipated. Let's put her on ice. Let her fight Liv one more time. Let Dominic do whatever Dominic's going to do. I'm just really hoping that we're teasing. It's gonna be a swerve, bro. Dominic's gonna wind up helping Liv, and then when Rhea comes back, Dominic just goes back to where he's supposed to be.
I saw somebody on X had the greatest meme ever, where it was Leah, it was Liv and Rhea on either side and Dominic in like the middle of the ladder, and it's his ladder match for custody of Dominic, like it did for Eddie and Ray. And I was like, you know what? If that happens, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all in.
Circular storytelling.
It all comes full circle. This was the idea back in 2008. I think it was like 2008, right? Or was Dominic just 8 years old? I remember the number 8.
Yeah. Dominic, I think. God, that had to be what? That had to be like 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, like it really like messed him up, like mentally. Like I remember hearing that he had to like go to like the psychiatrist for it.
Well, did you hear him talk about how his teachers thought that it was real?
Oh, God, no, really?
That Eddie was his father, and that they may have been actually fighting for custody over him in a ladder match.
Oh my God!
Which probably inspired my favorite backstage segment of all time, with the lawyer just screaming, "That's not how that works."
The greatest thing ever was the fact that they did that like they had like this custody like social worker or lawyer who was just like we'll put the custody papers on top of the ring and we'll climb a ladder, and they're like, what? No, that's not how custody works. And they're like, no, don't worry, we got this. All parties are in agreement here. Oh gosh.
Anyway.
So Shane Cunningham just Liv is screaming, "Where the F is Vicky?" Rhea says AW probably. Where the F is Vicky? Like, I love that. It's my favorite freak out of all time. Eddie just loses it. Eastside Reviews, by the way, said that it's 2005 because that's when Eddie passed away. I didn't realize Eddie passed away that far away. Like, I didn't realize that was 2005. Wow.
Wow.
All right, so I'm thinking of it in terms of Dominic was probably like 8 years old at the time, which again makes everybody feel old. All right, what was the next?
Just point out that he was playing a PSP.
Oh my God, he was playing a PSP, wasn't he? Ugh. The Intercontinental Championship match: Sami Zayn defeated Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. Now you're gonna have to fill in the blanks for me here because I actually missed this match. Well, how was it? What happened? Like I didn't even know who ate the pin. I just know Sammy won.
I mean, honestly, I barely paid attention because it was going to be exactly what I thought it was. We got a little stuff with Chad and Otis. So we're building the story there. But it was really just you needed a third person in the match so that Gable and Sammy can continue. There was really there was nothing special about it. It was a good match. There was just really nothing to really talk about here.
How long do you think they can draw out the How long do you think they can draw out the Gable and Sammy thing?
I think we're all just going to SummerSlam. I think everything here is just going to SummerSlam. So now we can really start ramping things up. Again, we'd have a lot more enthusiasm talking about this show if everything just didn't feel like they were stuck in the mud for the for the last almost 7 weeks.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Sami Zayn. I mean, it's insane how over he is in Saudi Arabia. Like I know that like the Syrians and the Saudis like put together like a peace treaty or something like that sometime within the last year or so. I said to a friend of mine, How much of that happening do you think had to do with the fact that the Prince wanted Sami Zayn on his shows? Because it was like all of a sudden, like Sami never went to the Saudi shows, and like I remember at the one before he started showing up, the whole show they would loud Sami chants like all throughout the arena, and then all of a sudden we finally find a way to broker decades of hostilities into peace by the power of Sami Zayn's overness.
Well, I say it all the time, especially whenever we talk about why these shows were booked. Boba. We talk about why these shows got booked to begin with. Vince wanted to be at the forefront of whatever cultural change or revolution was going to happen, so that he could find a way to get that WWE logo jammed into a history book. I'm sure it probably bore a very tiny percentage, because the Arab countries are very loyal to people of Arab descent. Which remember when Sami went to Qatar, or Qatar, when they went to Qatar, the house exploded for him. It's exciting. God only knows if Mansoor can ever go back. After what Vince did to him, actually no, we watched them fighting in we watched them fighting in Africa, and they look pretty badass there. So
yeah,
but no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's fun to see. It's fun to see different crowds have a different kind of enthusiasm for people. It's neat. It's neat. Sammy's from the his bloodline is from the region, and people want to be able to celebrate that. Regardless of what the borders are. Again, I just pointed out. Remember the for the years that he was at, he had 3 of them. That place, the building shook for Bill Goldberg. I think about that. Think about that. That's the power of entertainment. And yes, Saudi Arabia is very kind. They have a very open relationship with all parties, but think about that region of the world and who they were cheering for, and really wanting to see walk away with a heavyweight title.
Right.
So it's again that's the power of entertainment, and the power of entertainment on
I agree.
cultures.
I agree. Lisa B says, "Oh my God, the thought of TK as some Middle Eastern prince. Holy Jesus, Lisa! I would urge you to watch the Headlock headlines from today if you think that's some entertaining concept. Just take my word for it. That was like an idea that came to me in like the middle of the night. Like literally, I was sitting there, I couldn't sleep, and literally, I was just like, oh my God, what if I like get like an outfit for the Toonie puppet, and I like dress it up, and that's the Saudi prince, and he's just like a version of Tony Khan that like is able to kill people and get away with it.
It's like he's the Star Trek Mirror Universe version of Tony.
Yes, pretty much.
He's not like your Tony. He's competent.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ooptron Shredder version of Tony. Tony is the 80s Shredder, and the Saudi prince is Ooptron Shredder. Oh, God. Oh, Awful's here. There we go. Now the party can begin. Awful. Are you there?
What's happening? Yep, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, no, we were just we were vamping for a minute about the arrival of the Saudi prince to Headlock headlines this week.
What's been going on with that?
Well,
What's been the feedback?
So far, everyone loves it. I haven't gotten anyone outraged yet. I'm sure it's coming, but because people get outraged at everything. But what we were talking about how to do it, and I was like, I said to my friend that I was talking to, I was like, the way to do it is to like, it's got to be Toonie like down to a T. Like it's got to be the same voice, the same mannerisms, the same catchphrases. Like that's how it's funny. Like I can't be doing like a like a Middle Eastern accent or anything like that. That would not go over well.
Oh yeah,
but
no.
The yeah, well, being like making the detachable beard and all that stuff was like that was all just like experimental stuff that I was trying to do. And
Right.
then the song parody also came to me in the middle of the night. Like I was just again laying there, couldn't sleep, and I was like, oh, Arabian Nights, Saudi Arabian Nights, like. And literally just picked up my phone and just started like writing the lyrics out in like 20 minutes.
Damn right, that's the best.
Yeah, you got to jump on the inspiration when it hits. Okay, so moving along, Sami Zayn still your Intercontinental Champion. Clearly, we're going to some kind of singles gimmicky match with Chad Gable. When did they start doing? They started Monday doing the "You Suck" thing with Gable's music, right? Because I guess they're just trying to make him into the new Kurt.
The crowd started giving him the "You Suck" chant. Well, although I think technically it started in Canada, but it didn't. It just took like 3 weeks to catch on.
So he's an American Olympian with a wholesome face who they chant "You Suck" to, who uses the ankle lock.
Yes.
Essentially. Okay, so we've just recreated Kurt. Like we just made like a clone, but like with all clones, like it's just slightly off from the original. Oh my goodness. The all right, Queen of the Ring.
When they decided to give Angle a bastard child, everyone,
yeah.
Why wasn't it Gable?
I know.
Because Kurt loves chocolate. That's why.
I remember like replaying the Family Guy song, the "My Black Son, My Black Son." Oh, wow. Kev's black son didn't like that too much.
What's going on, Kev?
What's going on?
Oh man.
I love the podcast the other day with you guys talking about movies. I was thoroughly interested in hearing more stories about Kev Apollo's former police not former police days, but his father being a policeman, and those were some fucking crazy stories.
Oh.
You have not even scratched the surface of the Kevin Apollo Senior police stories. The things I've heard.
I do have. Well, I can tell you about how I can never remember the name of it. It was Denzel Washington and Bruce Willis in a terror attack movie. Was it Under Siege? Denzel observed my dad for Under Siege.
Nice.
For like 3 months. Just rode around with him, and then so when mommy's home, he's finally happy.
That is the mommy's home.
Yeah.
How quickly they turned. He observed it for a couple months, and then ever since then has just stolen all of his mannerisms. So when Training Day came out, we just said that he was just playing my evil dad.
Your dad inverted.
Yeah,
we gotta have your dad. We gotta have your dad on one of the shows one day because he's just the best. But yeah, So the Queen of the Ring match, we got Nia Jax and Lyra Valkyria. Lyra's ring gear, first of all, was amazing. Oh, hello, dog.
That was awesome. I love the wings.
The wings were great. I liked the wings a lot. It was, I think I made the joke of like Lyra Valkyria, her quirk, Dark Shadow, like from My Hero Academia, because she reminded me of like Tokoyami. But I liked the gear. I thought it was, she had to like walk out with her arms stretched out to the sides, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
But Nia just got to wear her regular ring gear, just without some of like the more like lighter patched kind of translucent parts, but Nia always dressed like that anyway. I don't think anyone's complaining about that. But Nia looked great in there. She looked like both of them looked great in there. I can't say enough good things about how they looked.
What, Marvin? Go ahead, Kev.
Go ahead. I'll hold it. Go ahead.
I'll just say that they worked the typical big man, little man match. I mean, there's
David
not supposed
Goliath,
to be a lot going on, you know. I mean, yeah, David and Goliath, beautiful. That's that's all I got to add to that one.
Yeah, I would say that was actually one of my favorite matches of the night because it was very physical. It told a great story. It actually reminded me of the 1 of 2 style matches that you would get out of Lawler whenever he introduced a brand new giant heel. Lawler would either get squashed out in 30 seconds and then go away, go away for a bunch of months and let the heel run wild. And then he finally make his return to dethrone to slay the dragon, or he would do the he's hanging in there, but it doesn't matter what he does, he can't get past the power game, and then the ending comes down to the heel was just too big and too strong for him. I have been calling for finishes like that for a super long time, especially when you see such a size differential and no one ever does it. Someone always kicks out of something like that. I'm like, why can't we just finish the effing match? But let's be honest, like if that happened to you in real life, you're calling an ambulance.
And that's I hate my big thing lately is just I miss when finishers finish people the first time. The finishers spamming, like clearly it's just like the wrestling video game generation. Everybody grew up playing No Mercy when you could bank like 4 finishers and hit them rapid fire in a row, and we see it in every match now. And the thing is, like when you would kick, like when the stunner hit or when the pedigree hit, that was it. You were done. Like there was no kicking out of that. It was the finish of the match, unless somebody pulled the ref out or something like that. But
yes,
we're now in this.
It was WrestleMania.
Well, that's the only place where kicking out of finishers was pretty much acceptable was not just WrestleMania, but like the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes,
like that was now at WrestleMania you're getting it in the first match.
Yes. It used to be reserved for title matches with major feuds or the main event.
Like remember when Kane kicked out of like 3 tombstones at WrestleMania 14, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" Like now nobody would blink an eye at that. I'm pretty sure Shawn kicked out of 3 of them at WrestleMania 26, 25. Not that I'm criticizing that match because that match was incredible. Plenty of Pixel Arts is unpopular opinion. I'm actually starting to enjoy Nia Jax matches. I just finished that match and it looked good to my untrained eye. No, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion anymore. I've seen a lot of people talking about the redemption arc of Nia Jax. That she went away, she dropped some weight, but she dropped weight where she's healthy now, but she's still threatening. Like she's still bigger than everybody else, and she's still a powerhouse.
Yes, give her the karma treatment. Whatever script that you guys had to dust off for karma, bring it back for Nia Jax. It's perfect.
Yeah. We had to get her very far away from the bad comedy. The "Oh My Hole" really destroyed her.
Okay, but can I just say she took a bump on her ass on the apron during this match, and the camera suddenly pulled in like really fast, and I literally gasped and leaned in because I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna say it, and I feel like the entire crowd like quieted down because they thought it was about to happen, and then she just went, oh, that really hurt. And I was like, you know what, if like that was intentional and she said that in like to subvert the expectations, that was really good. It was funny.
That's how you subvert expectations, Ryan Johnson.
Yes, I was literally, you beat me to that by 1 second. I was about to be like, that's good at subverting expectation. Luke Skywalker being a hermit is not. But John JID
never underestimate. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, never underestimate the trollability of professional wrestlers.
Yes. John JID 999 checking in with $5. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Really appreciate it. The show overall was good. A few of the matches went a bit long for me. The main event was really good. It felt different from the rest of the card. Yep, we're definitely going to get to the main event. Nia as the choice for Queen of the Ring, though. I mean, once I saw this was the match, I was like, oh man, like I'm pretty sure this is probably where we're going with Nia, because with Lyra gets put over just by the fact that she made it to the finals. She didn't have to win to get put over here. Like that would have been overkill for her, and I think it would have been too much too soon. The fact that she beat EO and the fact that she got to the finals and put up a fight against Nia Jax, I thought that put her on the map. That she's a star. Like I would like to see her challenge Liv at this. Is she on? Yeah, she's on Raw, right?
Yeah, she's on Raw.
Yeah, I would love to see her challenge Liv.
Have her win a couple more matches.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But I think there's good things coming in her future. Now Nia, obviously, like Nia and Bayley is a money match for SummerSlam. I think it is Bayley having to climb the mountain. And it'd be nice to actually see Bayley again, because I feel like we haven't seen much of her, or at least much of her in any kind of meaningful way since WrestleMania. I mean, like, she had a match at Backlash, but it was probably the most forgettable match on the show. I would like to see Bayley start doing some more stuff.
Yeah, it's, again, I understand it. They don't want to overexpose the champions. But again, the throttle season is over. It's time to start ramping up towards SummerSlam. So let's it's time for things to start getting interesting. There are no excuses starting Monday.
Is there another pay-per-view, or is there another PLE before SummerSlam?
Yeah, Clash at the Castle, and is probably
okay. Right.
Is there one in July? Yeah, the Germany one, the Berlin one, right?
Okay, gotcha.
We got two. We got two. We got Scotland and Berlin before we get to SummerSlam.
Okay.
You know what? I was literally about to bring up the SummerSlam going to 2 nights thing, but we're gonna save that for Tuesday night for Toonie Talk. We'll keep focused here.
Oh yeah.
But the choice for Nia, I thought it was the perfect way to cap off her return. She was never going to beat Rhea in Australia. She was never going to unseat the title picture that was going on currently. Now, does she have a chance to take the belt off of Bayley? That's the question.
Why not?
Maybe.
I mean, it would heat Nia up pretty damn good, and Bayley, she doesn't really need the championship. I mean, well, she doesn't need the championship. She's all right.
It would give face Bayley some needed sympathy. Because I think right now she's kind of stuck in between. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are people who are super into it, but her character hasn't really gone full face yet. You know what I mean? But again, that she also hasn't really been challenged. Other than she became friends with Trinity, and apologized, she hasn't really had to do too much. So I can see her dropping it to Nia and then chasing her until like Survivor Series, where she would get it back.
But Kev, it might be that time where some woman, some female, needs to get the Roman Reigns rocket put behind them and probably do a 2-year reign.
Oh, that'll happen when Charlotte comes back.
You think that? I think with Charlotte,
no doubt about that.
I think with Charlotte, I personally think with Charlotte that it's going to be I don't think she needs the 2-year reign. I think that Rhea was going to get that reign.
Oh.
I think. Well, I mean, yeah.
Apart from the injury.
Yeah, apart from the injury, which even then again, I don't quite understand why they decided to pull it off of her, other than they couldn't think of another way to create a little extra drama while she was gone. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if the stripping the champion of the title is still the thing to do anymore. I think maybe you should go UFC and make an interim champion, and then as soon as the real champion's back,
that's a Tony. That Tony Khan does that, and it doesn't work.
Oh, do they do that? I have no idea.
Tony Khan did it like a million times already. Like he did it with Punk. When Punk went down and Moxley was the interim champion, he did it with somebody else too. There was another interim champion.
Well, I was maybe say if you do it competently, it might work. But I don't know. It was just, again, to me, it was just silly that they pulled it off of Rhea when she was in the middle of the run that she was in. You want WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and then you just kind of pulled it off, and it almost felt like on a whim, and it wasn't really that bad of an injury. So it's like, well, what are we doing? But
they could have hid that under storyline. You know what I mean? Like they could have, had her just lay low and make people forget that she's the champion, building somebody else up.
Well, because I was going to say too, like she spent most of the year not defending her title anyway. So what was
really good point.
Yeah, that is a decent point. Man, I still feel bad that Rhea. Like, I wonder what the plan would have been for Rhea at this point if they had, if she had,
Liv.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think she would have lost it to Liv. I think that Rhea's reign would have continued on. And
maybe Jade Cargill or Bianca Belair. I'm sorry.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, actually, how long did Bianca have her title? Bianca almost won. Bianca had it for over a year, right? When she finally lost?
Yeah. Well,
I think so.
Year,
yeah,
I believe.
Well,
yeah, it was a while she had it. Yeah.
Didn't she go WrestleMania to WrestleMania to WrestleMania?
No,
I think there might have.
She would lose it like in midsummer.
Yeah, she would lose. She would lose it occasionally. Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder. It's possible. I wonder who you could do it with, other than Charlotte. But again, I also too you do have the problem of Charlotte wins so often, it would kind of be it would be repulsive right out the box. He would just be repelled.
Yeah.
I guess we don't count NXT because then you would say Asuka had a pretty good long reign of terror. I don't know. We should circle back and talk about that some more.
I don't think Nia is the one to hold it for 2 years, but it's.
Oh man, if written well, it could be phenomenal. If written well, it can be phenomenal. Like she's just knocking over these waves of women, left and right, and then maybe there's some spunky little Roxanne Perez or whoever the hell, come in there and finally best her or one up her.
I don't understand why they don't leverage.
I want to address this. That was not WWE in the chat, guys. That was a bot. That was some bot account. It was like I looked into it. I'm the one that deleted that banned them and deleted it. It was some bot account that came in and gave a bunch of like random coordinates. I unless they're including us in their viral marketing for Uncle Howdy, I don't think that this is what's happening. So don't go thinking that WWE was spelunking around in our comments section. That was not what was happening.
That's the Saudi.
Would have been cool though.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't like kind of almost like in the back of my mind a little worried about like being poisoned at some point. But okay, Nia is Queen of the Ring. I mean, this is definitely a step up from Queen Zelina. She's only the second Queen of the Ring, so I think it added some legitimacy to
Yeah, I mean, they're really
Queen of the Ring.
There really much to say about it. It's kind of one of those. It is what it is.
All right, King of the Ring. Excuse me. So we had Gunther and Randy Orton. Now this one. Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, actually, Queen of the Ring. One more thing I want to talk about. The finish of that match was brilliant.
Yeah, that was my favorite finish of the night. Brilliant.
It was probably my favorite finish of the last couple of months. I mean, it was so good. It was, you go for the sunset flip power bomb. Nia kicks her legs out. You get the bonsai drop. Boom, 1, 2, 3. That's it. And the Prince gets to mark out for Yokozuna.
Yep. You saw enough of my matches from when I was a little kid. All I did was have to wrestle the big fat monster. I loved it. I'm like, just squish me. I don't care. I can take it. I'm not going to die. I promise.
I love with Yokozuna when you could always see when he would he'd take care of the guy in the bonsai drop if it was like the Undertaker. But if it was like some random enhancement talent, he's kicking the legs straight out.
Yep.
Oh my God. I'm surprised he didn't break any sternums during that run. Holy shit.
I'm legitimately shocked he never legitimately killed anyone. Somebody that really on you like that?
There was one where he bounced off his chest. Like it was just like, oh.
But I mean,
and they used it for an intro.
The impact was so evenly distributed. It was okay.
It reminded me of when Triple H pedigreed that one guy and he spiked on the top of his head, and everyone.
Oh, and the guy
yeah, everyone thought that was Shawn for some reason. I remember when I first saw the clip, it was Triple H pedigree Shawn Michaels, and I was like, "Wow, that's insane." And then later years, I was like, "Wait, no, that wasn't Shawn. That was some like random like indie guy." But
Yoke with what's a favorite. I was a favorite botch of mine that I want to talk about is
sure, go ahead.
When Mark Merrow wrestles Austin for one of the first times, and he goes to take the stunner, and he was so used to taking the diamond cutter that he goes flat in the air. So when Austin goes to his ass and not his back, like you watch like Mark Merrow's head almost explode off of his body.
Johnny may not be bad.
The views of the Yellow Dog are not necessarily those of World Championship Wrestling.
My God. It's always so funny. I'd always heard
he showed me.
I remember hearing that like Vince loved Johnny B. Bad. I heard it from Bruce Pritchard. He said Vince loved Little Richard and he loved Johnny B. So he loved Johnny B. Bad, and he was like confused when Mark Merrow wasn't being Johnny B. Bad. Like obviously they can't call him Johnny B. Bad, but he could have still done the gimmick. They could have called him like Richard B. Mean or something like that. Call him Big Richard at that point.
We should have just said Johnny B. Good and just paid for the song.
Oh, I know. But...
Richard B.
Cousin. It's your cousin, Marvin Berry. You remember that big paycheck you were looking for? Well, listen to this. Oh God. No, we lost Awful momentarily. I'm sure he'll be back. But the not somebody Nia's size landing on somebody Lyra's size, that's gotta probably be akin to like somebody Yoko's size landing on the Undertaker, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it wasn't a pleasant
like proportionately.
Yeah, no, listen, all was you just saw her feet. That's all. There was just everything disappeared. You just saw legs and feet out into the air, and then we went home.
All right, so King of the Ring. Look, the match was great. The finish was awful, and some people are saying, oh, they had to. Like this was intentional. They had to do it that way. No, I really don't think they had to do it that way, because if it was intentional, they'd have been calling it out as the pin was happening. And also, there's no reason to hello, Dis. Welcome back, Disciplinary Committee. Is he there? I don't know.
In spirit.
Yeah. He's just here with his profile picture. That's all, like, so we could just admire the Daniel Bryan in the hospital bed that he is. But anyway, well, this gets his situation figured out. We will continue to soldier on. I'm sure at some point we'll just hear him be like, I'm here.
I had my back to it, so I completely missed the finish. When I turned around.
Well, yeah, they didn't replay it because they wouldn't replay it from the, from the angle that they showed it on, because it was so bad.
Oh, just one of those.
Yeah, it was essentially Randy gets the RKO, Gunther kicks out of it. Randy then tweaks his knee while sitting up. Gunther takes him and pulls him over into like a crucifix pin. But one of Randy's shoulders is not just up, it's like in orbit. It's like completely like he's on a diagonal, one shoulder on the ground and the other one just in the air. I said, this is like if you had counted him as a pinfall while he's standing upright. It was the most, like, that referee never should have counted it, ever. I don't know, but dude, that was our Woody the Pooh product placement?
Yeah, he's getting an outfit change.
Oh boy,
yeah. I figured you pop for it.
Yes, I do pop for it.
It's actually President Z. It's not Winnie the Pooh.
No, but like, does a finish like that's that bad? He was the presidency. Very good. Was this the John Cena household dressing his kid up?
你好，中国，我是叫希娜，我爱更尊重中国更中国人，我很抱歉对我的错误，
I'm bouncing. I never get tired of that clip.
You know what?
Plenty of pics.
You know what you need? I thought about it last week. I can't remember what this said that you were like, no, it's awful take. You need the Family Feud X sound effect.
Yeah, I do. Plenty of pics a lot floating the idea possibly Orton is actually injured. I don't think so. I think that I don't think this was planned. I think this was a botch. I think there was, if it was planned, it would have been done better. And they wouldn't have tried to hide it on the replay. They definitely when they did the replay of the finish, they did it from like behind so that you could like so maybe they could hide it, but there was no hiding it. It was so far up. It was amazing. It was insane. The match itself, though, fantastic match.
Yeah, match was great. The match
fantastic
was great.
Match.
I would say it's everything you knew that it was going to be. That's
yeah.
why it's like, it's like I don't really have super enthusiasm for it because like you just knew this is what you were going to get. It was methodical storytelling. It was very hard hitting. Again, very complimentary styles. Orton made Gunther look like a German tank. You really couldn't ask for anything more other than a better finish.
Now, but yeah, but does the finish kind of dampen the entire thing? Because I am a person that I think that the ending is the most important thing of any story, whether it's a match, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, whether it's a TV show. How I Met Your Mother was a hysterical show for a very long time, but those last 2 to 3 seasons have ruined it for me. I can't rewatch it anymore. Dexter was one of the best shows I had ever seen, but that last episode was so bad that I cannot find enjoyment in it anymore.
The worst thing ever. From the second to last season to the last episode, Dexter just pooped the floor. And then
they brought it back for that revival, and I was like, okay, I got to get through this again so I can get to the revival and see if they come up with a better ending. And so I start watching it, and I found myself just towards the end, and I was like, I can't finish it. I didn't. We're trying this again, huh?
Sarah is confirming that she.
Yeah, it kept kicking me out of the studio for some reason. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, this is here. We heard him. Somebody said, this is awful. And awful, the same person now confirmed because awful left and then you showed up. I think that logic is sound.
Can we just start a "This is awful" chant?
Yeah, this is awful.
Oh my god! How did you guys enjoy the show?
Oh, we've been talking about it.
I'm dead.
For 50
this isn't going to work.
We're on the actual King of the Ring match. So, what were your thoughts on the King of the Ring match itself, not including the finish? We're in the middle of kind of discussing the finish. Yes. Man, what is going on over there? Is it the tornado blow back through? I don't know. But anyway, Kev, I guess we're going to keep talking about it while he gets his situation figured out.
Well, I was going to say, if they remain true to form, even though we don't release home videos anymore, when we go to watch this on Peacock in 6 months, we will have a totally different camera angle, and then we'll go open up a piece of mail, and the flashy thing will pop up, and we'll never remember how bad this finish was.
Yeah,
it would have never.
That's very true. That's very true. Good Lord. George Captain says, bring back the baby. The boy is with his mother now. He has no interest in us anymore. But yeah, no, like I was saying so when something ends poorly, I cannot enjoy a rewatch. If I know the destination is disappointing, the journey is taking that journey again is lessened for me. I have that problem with Star Wars. I can't get excited for anything Star Wars that they're doing between Return of the Jedi and the things that came next, because I know that all roads lead to Jake Skywalker, the First Order, and somehow Palpatine returned. To me, like, it kind of started Gunther's King of the Ring reign off with FUT. Like,
I mean, listen, it's one sentence in a very long story. Gunther's promo, to close it out, was very strong. We know on Monday he's probably going to set the world on fire, and then again, it's going to be 2 matches. We're going to not even be talking about it because Orton's back to SmackDown, Gunther's back to Raw, and whenever we do the Saudi shows, it's like the second the Saudi show is done, it's like it never happened. So. It's
they gotta fold everything up and get on the plane really quick in case the Saudi prince decides to hold them all hostage again.
It's did the check cash? All right, fire up the jet. Go. They're sprinting down the tarmac. Brock didn't come this year. There's only one plane.
I just picture, like, God, who would be a funny person for it? Like, Sami Zayn, like, jumping up on the hit and holding the landing gear of the plane while it goes back in to just try to get out of there. Because Sami Zayn is the last person that's getting stuck in Saudi Arabia, let me tell you. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? H-Town Trader makes an interesting point. He goes, I love to rewatch the Ministry storyline, even though I know it turns out to be who. Because, we could say it on the live shows, even though it turns out to be Vince. You know what? The Higher Power, I think I was so young when the Higher Power happened that it was disappointing, but not like disappointing in a way. Like, I liked everything back then,
Yeah, it was it being Vince is so stupid that you're like, oh, okay, come on. Be like, all right. It
was stupid, but it also made sense in a way.
It made sense. Yeah. I get like, who else could it be? But I get it. It's, again, this is one of those. It's not gonna derail anything. Bad, mess ups and bad matches happen. We watched. I can't remember what maybe it was Backlash, right? Right when Jericho and Flair had one of the worst pay-per-view matches of all time.
Oh yeah.
You don't even remember it unless someone goes, remember how awful that match was?
Yeah. I forgot about that match.
It's like, it's just shit happens. And to be fair, you're like, how did these two have a bad match? But you just never know. You never know.
Sometimes it's just not unite. Yeah, sometimes it's just not unite. You just don't click. But so I mean, King Gunther, we now are moving forward into Gunther versus either Damian or Drew or some kind of triple threat match. But I mean, the Damian babyface turn has kind of got to be like solidified by that point, right? Like, if that's where they're going with it, because right now it's heel versus heel, and this is an AEW.
Damien's babyface. That's where Damien's babyface in the heel group. I would say Damien's decidedly babyface.
Well, they're teasing the split with Finn.
Well, we just once Finn attacks him, then that's that's when you have the official green light. But you're safe to throw them at each other. Because again, it's you have the clear roles. The where the mystery is where is the Judgment Day with Damian, right? Because they want to go in one direction and Damian wants to go in another, and Rhea isn't there. So, clearly, clearly Drew has his own plans. Nobody knows what Dominic's doing. And Damian doesn't seem to want to agree with anybody about anything. So, right. Drew's gonna. The best way to do is Drew's gonna call for a galvanization moment, and it's going to be kicking Damian out of the group. It's going to be kicking the first new member out of the group.
Or I think what might happen is you might have we might go to Clash at the Castle, and Finn costs Damian the match in like a I don't want you to be world champion situation. Like maybe instead of it going to like a Damian Finn Balor like world title feud, it just goes into a mid-card feud, so that Drew can kind of carry the torch after that. Though I mean, look, in Scotland, Drew McIntyre is going to decidedly be a babyface.
I think my worry is if you do that, you do more harm than good to Damian. I just think you do more harm than good. To me, it's right now the feud is Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre does not need the belt. Especially with Punk not being healed yet. So Punk can go get his title shot. I mean, Drew can go get his title shot, and Drew can do what he does. He can almost win and cost himself. I think it's more likely that Drew's going to be about to win, and then Cult of Personality is going to come on, and then his hubris will take over, and then he'll lose it for himself at the last second. Because Damian's going to need at least one big win in order for his title reign not to be a dud.
Yeah.
I think you'll just do him a huge disservice. Because we're not.
I just think that Drew is so hot right now. How do you not start moving in the direction we're going to start putting this belt on him? And how do you beat him in his hometown twice?
He doesn't need it. He just doesn't need it. And again, the money right now is with him and Punk. Once you're done with him and Punk, then fine. You're gonna have to make a decision. But if
they're drawing him and Punk out to WrestleMania, I think you make it for the world title at that point.
Yeah, but right now, there's no reason to do it right now. It's early. Like if you're gonna, I don't think you should pull that belt off of Priest until at or around Boba. Enough. At or do it.
So is the dog Boba for Boba Fett, or is he Boba for Boba T? I'm trying to figure out if you or your wife named the dog.
We didn't name the dog Boob T. The Booby T. I named them Boba Fett.
Okay. Was this before or after the Book of Boba Fett?
I didn't want them to get the dog. So because if I could redo it, his name would be Vader. Like it's Vader time Vader, not Darth Vader. Because he's a giant-headed pit. But I didn't want them to have the dog. They asked me to name him, so I picked something that I thought would be too obnoxious for them to want to go with, and it just stuck.
Okay.
Yeah. I did very lazily start a Boba Fett the dog Instagram account that I never uploaded anything to.
Okay. How old is the dog?
A little under 2, maybe a little over 2. I don't really remember. He's around 2. But he is everything. He's every bit the big dumb dog. He's 100-pound lummox.
Yeah.
Sweetest pie. And he lays like a frog when he looks out the window.
Amazing. All right. The moving along, we are moving into but now do you think SummerSlam is when you pull the trigger on Gunther, or do you think that we hold off on as well?
I think again, it's just if you can give Priest at least one big win, then it wasn't a giant waste of time. Although I think it would be criminal to not do at least one Balor versus Priest a world title match. We're having this conversation right now because Raw, for the first time in a long time, has an embarrassment of riches. You have 5, 6 if you include Balor. You have 6 guys on the show right now who could be world champion, and no one would bat an eye. And it really, people actually want to see them all be world champion. So it's things are looking pretty good on Raw. Presuming everybody stays healthy. Because in a couple of those matches, you do Finn Balor versus CM Punk would be a dream match for someone. So like you've got a couple of things there that are that leaves the brand really strong. It's
if Punk can wrestle for an extended period of time without getting injured, which recent history has shown us might not be very doable.
Well, I would say this too though. His motivation's different, man. This is a different guy. He's happy where he is. Like when you get hurt, well, I'll put it to you like this, right? And we're just looking at the undeniable reality of the two companies, right? Like everybody's had a job like this place fucking sucks, or like this place could be cool, but I can't believe it's this bad right now. If I'm in the WWE and I'm injured, you got record ratings, you got record box office. No matter what you do, the place is hot. That's someplace you want to go to. Or do you want to rush back from injury and go be in Collision where there were so few people there that that only the people in the front seat were the people in the building, and you look like you're at some at some New Jersey indie show. It's your motivation's different. They're like, you could tell like
we broke it down on the headlines this week. I mean, the pay-per-view for tomorrow still has under 7,000 tickets sold as of this morning. Because when I made the video, it was the only information I had was like 6,040. I saw WrestleTix this morning updated it as I think 6,700 or something, maybe 6,800, which they'll probably have 7,000 by the time it's all said and done, like with walk-ups and whatnot. But then they've got less than 5,000 sold for Dynamite in LA. Collision tonight is under 2,000 people, and then the next 5 weeks, Dynamite and Collision are all under 2,000 people. It's insane.
Yeah, and again,
people are just not going anymore. But they used to roll up to Jersey. They used to roll up to Jersey and sell out like this huge, massive arena. And every time they go back there, it's diminishing returns until the point now where it's they're not even selling. They're not even opening half the arena for sales.
Yep. It's not, again, it's, think about it, they're in LA, man. That's their bread and butter. That's the crowd that they want. And they're not sold out. That's the audience that they specifically catered to. So it is what it is. You did it. You did it to yourself, I
personally can't believe I cannot believe that they're running Vegas again after what happened last year. Remember last year when they ran Vegas for Double or Nothing and the arena was empty, empty.
He must. I would have to imagine that he got it cheap. He maybe signed like a 2-year, like a kind of a 2-year agreement, so he has to go back.
He's just stubborn. He doesn't course correct. He never course correct. When is any time that Tony Khan has ever course corrected when it has not been like out of his control, like somebody gets injured or somebody guillotine chokes one of your wrestlers in front of you and you do nothing? Like, when is the last time? He never does. Like, he sticks to the same buildings. He sticks to the same storyline ideas. He doesn't change because he doesn't think it has to change. And everybody, I am so tired of this narrative where everything will get better for AEW as long as Tony gives up the book and steps away. No. Somebody said exactly what I always say today on X, and I was like, thank you for saying it. Because the problem is that AEW exists because Tony Khan wants to book a wrestling show. That's why it exists. If he's not doing it, if he's not writing the show, producing the show, getting to act like he's Mr. Booker Man, like he's Bill Watts in 1983, then there's no reason for it to exist at that point. He doesn't want it for anything else.
Just go to the website. It's it's essentially it's a self. He's just it's a SPO site. He's just putting himself over the entire time. He lists all of his jobs for Jacksonville. Lists all of his jobs for the football club. It tells you everything he does in AEW. This is a guy who likes to tell you what he's doing. but does not mention what he's done. The again, it's like, well, great, you got 3 shows plus a fan access show that everybody hates because it's far inferior to what they were paying for initially. I can take them.
Right.
George
Captive for $5 says, why does AEW continue to book these NBA, NHL arenas? Booking a smaller venue packed with 3,000 people would be so much better. Yes, and that's what they're doing in Arlington. They're booking the esports arena, which is 2,500 people, but they're booking it for 5 weeks in a row for Collision. Now, it's like partially the right move, but like, and people will point out to be like, oh, well, NXT runs Orlando every week and in the same building, and TNA ran the Impact Zone. TNA didn't have to draw at the Impact Zone. TNA, the thing people don't realize about the Impact Zone is it was in Universal Studios Orlando, and it was essentially an attraction of the puck to be able to go to Impact for free. And so TNA never had to worry about drawing on those shows. It's a matter of when you're there for 5 weeks straight. I think is that killing the town, you think, or is that
it's risky? It's risky because it's either we don't know how much. Well, listen, it's how much are the tickets too. It's one of those things where it's like, well, it's not college football season, right? So there's no real distractions going on. So if you're in a spot where there isn't much going on, the tickets are dirt cheap. Cool, maybe I'll go 3 out of the 5 times, or I'll definitely go 2, but I'll go 3 out of the 5 times. I find it hard to believe that someone's going to go all 5 times. But I think the bigger message is that we are in such dire straits that this is something they had to do. This isn't something they wanted to do. This is something they had to do. And again, it's kind of
if you go these 5 weeks, 2,500 people, 2,500 seat arena, and you don't sell it out every single week, that's a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. You are at this point no better than a mid-tier indie. The only difference is you have a national television, and frankly, if you flip the business model, and go back to why TV was important during the 80s, TV was important to sell tickets for your house shows. So now at this point, they don't do house shows. So TV, the presence of TV alone should be enough to fill their shows. Like it's your
I'm also pretty sure that NXT is a free show also. I don't think you pay for NXT.
I don't think you pay for NXT.
I think you sign up through like a Facebook group or something like that.
But NXT also travels Florida the entire weekend too. So like you are paying to see NXT if you live in Florida. And eventually NXT will be on the road. It was going on the road before the pandemic, and that kind of ruined everything. That's also one of my most disappointing things about about Joe being trapped in AEW. If the pandemic doesn't happen, NXT goes on the road. WWE probably procures ROH because they want to travel and they need the infrastructure. And now you have the complete library for Punk, Joe, AJ. Yeah, it's like it's just what could have been if we didn't lose a bunch of years to the dumb pandemic. But it's like eventually NXT is going to go back on the road eventually, probably after a little bit of time in the CW, because NXT will have a bigger audience. NXT will have a bigger audience than AEW, just by virtue of being on network television. SmackDown is doing SmackDown's doing over 2 million people on a Friday night, and Friday night's a death slot. Imagine if SmackDown was back on Thursday. It would probably be doing like 4 million people. So NXT is going to thrive, under the big bright lights, and then as soon as they have a little bit of time, you'll see them back on the road again. It's just why spend the money now when you don't have to? They've got a good thing going, and they'll be smart. They will go to smaller venues. They'll go to the smaller venues, and pack the place out, and kill it, while also knowing that they can do something like go to Mohegan Sun, in Connecticut, and fill it up, without even a second thought.
But you know what? Like and that's what, like, so you have a show in the same place for 5 weeks in a row, and it is a paid show that you're charging people for. It's not like it's not like the like Impact, where you get a bunch of Universal team members out into the front of the park to be like, hey, you want to come watch wrestling for free? It's got Kurt Angle on it. And like, that was easy to pack the Impact Zone. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. It's a matter of I'm interested to see what it will be like, but I think it's a good choice for them to go back to the smaller arenas. But anyway, I digress. We should get along with this because we're not supposed to talk about AEW right now.
I got to wrap it up too. So let's get to the main.
Yeah, me too. All right, main event: Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. Fantastic match. Oh, by the way, John JID 999 checking it says, I have such a deflating feeling about the AEW show tomorrow. Nothing feels important. Swerve's match feels skippable, and that's crazy to me. Yes, we'll talk a lot more about that on Tuesday night for Tuning Talk Wrestling, because I want to talk about how he's dropped the ball on Swerve.
Well, listen, told you so. And what's crazy is kudos to Christian. Christian can usually make anything work, right? Like, Christian just has the magic dust that he knows how to take a hunk of shit and turn it into gold, and he's trying here. But the way this story has been booked to play out on TV, it's utterly forgettable. It's utterly forgettable. And this should be getting equal time to the uninteresting Bucks FTR circle jerk fest that we've been stuck with, that no one cares about. Tony dropped off Darby so that he could pull out a flamethrower and murder three people on live television.
Before we got Lisa B said AEW turned Swerve into Token from South Park, and I responded with Tolkien. The greatest thing they ever did was gaslight everyone into saying that it's been Tolkien this entire time with an L.
Going back and changing
the subtitles.
Yep.
They changed the closed but the greatest thing about them going back and changing the closed captions for every season of South Park to say Tolkien instead of Token is great, because it's still Token when Stan says it.
Yes.
Like, my mind was blown. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Logan Paul once again showing everybody that he's here to hang, that he can go. I don't think it's a matter of he gets carried to all these matches, because he is. At what point do you got to just say this guy is just talented? He's a natural. He goes out there. He's an amazing heel. I liked the whole what was Michael Cole's line? You signed a pre-nuck.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't use the brass knuckles. I thought that was good. There was one point where he does the octopus stretch, and Michael Cole goes, made famous by Antonio Inoki, and then Graves goes, and made more famous by Logan Paul, and you just hear Michael Cole go, that's gonna piss people off. Like, I love post Vince commentary. It's so good.
Well, I said, we can't say it enough, right? Michael Cole gets to be himself. And we only got to see that, not briefly, but we didn't really see it, unless he was with Taz on SmackDown when Vince wasn't watching SmackDown. Michael Cole Graves is Michael Cole Graves and Michael Cole McAfee. Those are my two favorite Coles. What was I gonna say?
Michael Cole Taz, huh?
Well, no. Well, that's different, man. That's just a different. That's a special era. I remember I listened to them on Sirius XM when they got take over. And
Michael Cole went ballistic at that caller.
Oh my God! Just screaming, "Bring me another effing bourbon!" Where's my bourbon?
We might have to play. You know what? If I can find that, we might have to play it on Tuesday.
I was gonna say the Logan reminds me of old school original Mr. Monday Night RVD. Just how he carries himself. I've been signed to the WWE, the WWF, and I'm here to make this place better. RVD, it's yes, you're fine. He got, you got carried through your first 2 matches. We worked on it for 4 months, but guess what? You are a brand new freaking wrestler, and the fact of the matter is, the guy does it better than a lot of people who've been doing it for 10 years. So. Suck it, get over it. The kid, for all intents and purposes, is a phenom. That's why he got trained by Shawn Michaels. Theory,
by the way, saying Logan Paul will win Money in the Bank, and that's perfect for him. That's an interesting idea. See, I thought that Money in the Bank, I thought I knew who it was going to be. I thought it was going to, who did I say it was going to be? I figured it out like halfway through the show, and I'm like, oh, this guy's going to win Money in the Bank this year. And now I don't remember who I was talking about. Oh man! But Logan Paul, I think, is a great choice for it.
Was it LA Knight?
No, because I think LA Knight is destined for the IC title for a while.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure LA Knight's pulling this belt off of Logan Paul.
US title is what I meant.
Yeah. And I said that, and that's why they stopped it from being a title versus title thing, because someone realized, oh wait, we're going to completely, totally derail everything we've been building with LA Knight, and for no reason. It's not like he got hurt and we had to shift gears. You're just going to legit undercut the guy. And
who the hell did I say was going to win Money in the Bank this year? That's going to really bother me because I was like, oh, I got the perfect one. Continue.
But I would say, and it's pretty much.
Oh, Chad Gable. I said it was going to be Chad Gable.
Gotcha.
I said he had Money in the Bank written all over him. But Logan Paul, I could see too. With Logan Paul's schedule, I can't imagine them. I mean, yes, and I know Brock was the champion with his schedule, but I don't know. I can't see Logan Paul being WWE champion. I just, at least not until he's able to commit to more dates. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, he does a lot though, and again, I think treating the heavyweight title more, because again, if you look at, we live in the post UFC boom era. Dookie Duke, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I know you're there. I acknowledge you.
He's a big Logan Paul fan.
Yeah, he's just smashing whatever he's holding as loudly as possible. What was I gonna say? I like the heavyweight title being defended not all the time. I don't mind it. I think when you treat the champion like an attraction, it makes the champion's appearance more special. I think it's a big part of what gave Brock his mystique. I think it was a big part of what.
I liked this too. I liked with Brock and Roman when they weren't around every week, because it felt almost like you were waiting for the NWA champion to blow into the territory. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And we made the IC and the US titles mean more because they were main eventing pay-per-views, and it was kind of like, it was like your North American championship at Mid-South while you were waiting for Flair to come in and defend the NWA title. So yeah, I like that a lot. I think there's something to that. I just don't think modern wrestling fans are patient enough for it.
Well, listen, they've been conditioned through Brock and Roman. They just don't realize it. They don't realize it. The Brock and Roman have taught them how to be patient, and I think where you're getting a little bit of where you're seeing a little bit of dust up with those fans is it took us Cody. It took us a little too long to give Cody a feud. I think if we had set Cody and Logan up maybe even a week earlier, listen, it's. No one wants to just see great matches in the WWE. Frankly, no one wants to just see great matches, period. That's why it doesn't work at the other place. People want their stories, and Cody coming on having great matches without a story, again, smart. You don't want to overexpose him. You want to isolate him a little bit, especially after having the 2 years that he had. But we needed to jump into a story right away, and it just took them a little too long to get there because of just whatever we're calling this weird period of the post WrestleMania draft Saudi era. Again, I hope next year they kind of figure out a better way to handle it.
with Duke yelling over you, we should put him on Toonie Talk Wrestling. He'll fit right in.
Yeah. It's just kind of it's one of those things where it is what it is. But I think if they do it, I think the chase will be that much more special because he isn't always around. And then when he pops up, he's not always going to fight. He's just going to show up, be a dick, and run out the door. So there's a lot more upside to him being around than I think anybody ever would have thought there would have been. He's proven himself to not just be a one-off YouTube goof. He's a viable contender. He's a money, he's a money draw, and there's a lot of future there for him.
I agree. I thought the match was really good. The ring announcer guy who they had do the run-in at the end. I'm like, who the heck is that guy? Apparently he's a Saudi Arabian comedian, so I'm sure he's hilarious. But if this were the early 2000s, I would launch into my Saudi Arabian comedian impression, but we're not there anymore, so I can't do that. All right, folks, we are winding it down. You got any more super chats you wanted to get in to ask questions or make your comments and have them be read aloud? You got another 2 minutes. So all in all, what kind of grade would you give from an A to F, A plus to F minus? What would you give this show?
As a B plus.
Yeah,
B plus.
I would give it a B. I would give it a solid B right in the middle.
I maybe give it an A minus. I give it an A minus.
Okay. Wow. You're better than I am. I would give it a B, right in the middle of the B plus and the B minus. Yeah. It was solid. It wasn't bad. It certainly wasn't bad. I don't think it's something that a year from now I'll be like, oh yeah, remember that? I don't think I'm gonna remember it in 2 months. It was just It was just solid. It was fine.
That's it. Yeah, no one's gonna be going. Remember King of the Ring 2024? No one.
Yeah.
But I'll hopefully.
Pixelot, thank you for the super sticker. That's awesome. First one we've ever gotten of those.
You know what though? Actually, Nia Jax squashing of Valkyria should be something that gets worked into the opening credit sequence.
Yes.
That's something you don't forget. That is a forever highlight. So yeah, we got something.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for joining us for this little impromptu live stream wow, we went an hour and a half. I was not expecting that. Well, folks, and join us on Tuesday night for the next episode of Toonie Talk Wrestling. I believe we were trying to get Wednesdays for Toonie Talk TV now, right? Was that what we were talking about? Yeah. So I'll make an announcement about that in the next couple days. Once we figure out when it's doable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everyone who super chatted. Thank you everyone who attended, who chatted, who just watched. We love you guys all. Check out the new Headlock headlines. Check out the new song parody that's up on the channel if you haven't seen it already. And make sure you are subscribed to our movie channel for when we start posting on there sometime in the next week. That is going to be over at youtube.com/@ToonieTownTV, which is spelled like that. And all right, so for Kevin Apollo, for Awful Wrestling, for AEW Disciplinary Committee when he popped in, I am Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!